Should the Lakers be worried?
Are Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder on the floor? Are they playing right now? No, they're not. So, no, the Lakers are not whole, and they shouldn't be worried. I'm not worried about the Lakers. I'm confused. And I'm not confused about the Lakers. I'm confused by LeBron James. He is trying his best to convince us that he's not old, that he's not 36 years old. LeBron, you're old. You're 36 years old. And you're just coming off of a championship and a short off season and no training camp. So it's okay that you are coasting and that the Lakers are coasting right now. Fully understandable. But stop trying to convince me that you are the same player or that, it's just a matter of choice. I can play better. I can play harder if I want to. Anthony Davis got hurt 4 games ago. It took you 4 games to realize that you might have to do more with Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder out. I don't believe that he really looks at it and says, man, I got to step up. We can't lose any more games. He knows the championships are not won in February. He's just trying to convince everybody that he's the same player. And the reality is he's not. J-Mac, I know you love the new age statistics and analytics, and I like to look at them and utilize them, but I don't think they tell the whole story. But they tell something in this, in that LeBron James's win shares, offensive and defensive, are the lowest in his career by a long shot. So we can look at the other statistics, the scoring in particular, and say, yeah, he's doing as well, pretty much as well as ever, and it's amazing he's doing it for 36. But his impact on the game is not nearly what it normally is. And if he wants to really replace what Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder do, it's not about scoring more. It's not about being more efficient offensively. It's about being the backbone of that defense. And that's going to take a tremendous amount of energy. And I'm not sure if he's willing or if it would even be wise for him to expend that over the next couple of weeks to make up for Anthony Davis's absence.
Rick, I don't think it would be wise for him to try to do that. I think they need to just play this thing out, hope that other guys step up, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and other players. This could be good for them. Because later in the season, in the playoffs, when they need those guys to step up and play well, maybe this stretch without AD and Schroeder could help them. So I'm with you there. And look, the last time LeBron made a statement like this, it didn't work out that well. Remember 2 years ago when he said he's going to activate playoff mode and it fizzled out. So I think that, and I'm not mad at LeBron for this. And I would say shame on anybody who is mad at him for this. Obviously, his number one goal is to win a championship. But there are other goals. I think, obviously, catching Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a goal. And that's one reason I don't think he wants to let up. He wants to keep pressing forward. And then also, I think LeBron would love to win the MVP award at this late stage in his career, which is unprecedented. We know he wants to be the greatest player ever. These would be adding notches to his argument. And so I do think that those things are in the back of his mind. We can argue whether or not they should be. I'm not mad at him for that because all the great players have individual goals as well as team goals. Just don't let it override and overburden you because he's playing 38 minutes in February. I think he needs to go back to about 34 so that he is fully healthy along with AD and Schroeder come playoff time so that they can get this ring or try to get this ring. But I do think those are factors in why LeBron is going out and playing so well and playing so hard, Rick.
I think Rick went to sleep last night with a what-if nightcap. I don't know if it was whiskey or if it was vodka or what. I don't know, but you came to the show with what-ifs today, and my whole thing is this. You have to be concerned for this Lakers team. It's not what if Schroeder and AD were on the team. It's not about that. The reason why it's not about that is because we don't know the impact of the injury, the extent of it yet that AD has. I don't look at Schroeder as being a player that I would say is a part of a big two that creates a big three. I think he's good. I think he's serviceable. I think he's above average. But he's not on the level where you say he's one of the most prolific scorers in the league, and that big three is going to be able to compete with some of the other big threes, especially in Brooklyn or possibly right next door with the Clippers. I think there's need to be concerned, one, for the amount of mileage that has been on LeBron James, for the amount of time he's been playing, not having a legit offseason, abbreviated, all the reasons that have already been stated. There is need for concern because not only do I see this Lakers team struggling as they get deeper into the season, but I also don't know that I see them climbing out of this hole with the level of play if AD is able to come back and play on that. He's a big man. That is a weight-bearing tendon that he's got upset right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, that ended my career. The Achilles, I don't want to speak the evil on the young man, but I'm telling you, that is a very, very difficult injury to have, and those take time. It can't be rushed. So how much time does AD have before he can test it? And once you get on it, you're on it. So I just think there is need for concern because of the what-ifs that are connected to this Lakers team.
So, Rick, you said you were confused by LeBron's statement. I want to remind people, a couple years ago in Cleveland, LeBron would go on social media when there were issues with the team, and he would put up a meme. Remember the clenched fist, the Arthur? That was like he was upset about something, and you had to, like, read those cues. What if now he's 36? We're supposed to read this, okay? I've got to do better. I've got to be more effective. What if he's subtly telling his teammates, hey, man, I'm the guy who everybody's saying is the MVP of the league. I'm top 5 in player or top 10 in player efficiency rating. I'm having an amazing year at 36. You guys, KCP, you need to look in the mirror and be more effective. Montrezl Harrell, step up your game. What if this is LeBron subtly telling his teammates, hey, man, I need to do better, when in reality, y'all need to do better? He can't come out and say that, but I do believe maybe there's a subtle message to his teammates. Hey, no AD, no Schroeder. Step up your game.
You have a point, J-Mac, because usually whatever LeBron says, there's a second thing that message that he's actually sending. And he made a point of saying, no, all the supporting cast are doing fine. I'm the one who has to step up. And maybe it's the exact opposite. Maybe that's the deal. I will say this. This is the element that I am worried about. Look, defensively, with Dennis Schroeder and Anthony Davis, the Lakers demonstrated that they could be the #1 defense in the league. And what I saw through many of the games early on is that offensively and defensively too, they would cruise for 3 quarters. They weren't worried about falling behind early, whatever. They would play the last 6 minutes like it meant something, and they would lock teams down. And they have a 22-9 record as a result of that. So they demonstrated to me that when they want to get back to championship caliber basketball, they're still capable of it. My concern is that the guys that they had added that I thought were going to be upgrades, Marc Gasol, Montrezl Harrell, Wes Matthews, have not proved to be that whatsoever. And so is that going to cause problems down the line? Yeah, potentially, because they won last year playing big ball, big bully ball, particularly in the bubble with Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, and they played with size. They can't play that now. Marc Gasol looks washed to me. Montrezl Harrell he's not even as good as what we saw with the Clippers. So what can they play? Can they play small ball? How well can they play it? Well, in order to play small ball, you have to play fast. And this is where LeBron James would just concede. I'm 36. I can't win MVP. I can't catch Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I can't win a championship all in one season right now. He may want that, Chris, but I think if he puts all of that on his plate, he's going to have to concede something, and it's probably the championship. And if he's looking for marks to get himself any closer to Michael Jordan, That, to me, is the one that you do not sacrifice.
It's interesting.
No, that's got to be the main thing. As Pat Riley would say, keep the main thing the main thing. But look, to your point about the defense, they missed the rim protection of Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. And then AD. And I know, look, AD is playing good defense. Even though some of the analytics numbers say they're better without him defensively, we know that's crazy. He's playing very good defense. But, Rick, he has stepped back offensively. And I think during this time that he's out, he's got to look at himself in the mirror and say, why didn't I take the next step that many thought he'd take? I thought he'd be in the MVP conversation. I thought he'd kind of take that torch or it would be handed to him from LeBron like he's the main guy on the team. And instead, he stepped back. His points are way down. His rebounds are below 9 a game. His free throw attempts are down. His blocks are down. And for some odd reason, he's gone from being an 80% career foul shooter to 71% this year. That tells me that mentally he doesn't have his game face on as consistently as he needs to. So if he can get that right during this time that he's out and come back like the AD he was last year and during the finals and playoffs, then it's a different story for the Lakers because he can make up for a lot of the things that they're lacking.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.